Welcome back to Free to Write. We're at Lesson 3, Just Do It. Now that you have made the time to write, how do you get started? I was talking with a friend recently who gave me a rather underhanded compliment. She said, "Your books aren't great. They are good, but they aren't great." Not an auspicious beginning, right? But wait, she continued. But the thing is, you went ahead and got them published anyway. You didn't wait until they were perfect. I want to do that too. Well, thanks for that, I guess. Although personally, I think my books are great. They are exactly what they set out to be, and they allowed me to express something that I evidently needed to express at the time. It's been my experience that writers who set themselves too lofty standards end up suffering from incurable writer's block and/or developing such a snobbish attitude toward literature in general that they miss out on many a good tale that a more average writer might spin. Similarly, writers who confine themselves to one genre, claiming that poetry or novels or plays are their thing, miss out on the fun that comes with exploring new genres and writing out of their comfort zone. Specialization is for insects, said Lazarus Long, sci-fi writer Robert Heinlein's colorful old man. Specialization and perfectionism work together to stifle creativity. They are also in direct conflict with humility, the characteristic that allows every writer to see herself as a channel for inspiration, not the captain at the helm. My husband warns me that I may be getting too intellectual here. Let me put it simply. To get started on a book, that's all you need to do. Get started. Don't worry yourself over whether this is going to be the next great American novel or whether you're going to make the New York Times bestseller list in your first week. If ever. I have been there. I have worried about that shit. And you know what? That novel never got written. I use the word got intentionally because it's a trash word. It's a word that real writers don't use. But I do. And you know why I do? Because I can, and because it keeps me humble. Got reminds me that I'm just another person who enjoys pounding stories out on the computer or by hand, that I'm not Steinbeck or James Joyce, Shakespeare or T.S. Eliot. I'm just somebody who likes to write and to share what I write with others. Of course, it doesn't stop there, but the point of this lesson is to discuss how to get started. If you don't get started, you'll never cross the finish line. So for the third time, let's get started. I imagine that many of you, like me, have doubts about whether you have any right to call yourself a writer at all. Who are you to think that you can step onto that hallowed ground where so many greats have gone? I will tell you now that such thinking is bullshit. If you have ever spent any time in a library or bookstore, you are well aware that only about 1% of all the books there are truly classics, masterpieces of literature. So what is the remaining 99% doing there? Because they are what people like to read. As wonderful as Moby Dick is, tell me that if you're looking for a nice beach read, you wouldn't rather pick up David Baldacci or Ellen Hildebrand. Not that they aren't good writers, they certainly are, but they aren't Jane Austen. Hell, pick up my novel, When the Moon Winks. It's funny and serious, can be read in 2 days, satisfies that need for a quick book the way an English toffee satisfies the desire for a sweet. My point is, not all books are destined for the Penguin Classics. Most books are just for fun. So erase that notion from your head that you must be the next. The fact is, you are you, and you have something very valuable to say, even if it's just a good book, not a great one. What makes a writer anyway? Is there some magic formula that calculates talent, imagination, grammar, and drive and comes up with a winning number? Nope. I'll tell you what the winning number for me is, and it's courtesy of the prolific crime mystery writer Lawrence Block. 5. That's it. 5. Block, in his handy little text, writing the novel from plot to pixel, states that at this point in his career, and we're now talking about a few years back, he sets himself the goal of writing 5 pages a day when he's working on a novel. If you write 5 pages a day consistently within 1 month, a regular month, you would have 150 pages. That is well on your way to completing a novel. Most of my books aren't much longer than that. Truth told, I don't think people in this day and age can handle much more than that. But I digress. What is a writer? Back to our original question. A writer is one who writes, just as a runner is one who runs regularly, and a weightlifter is one who lifts weights. If you do something consistently, you earn the right to identify yourself with that activity. Do you see my point here? If you're second-guessing yourself as to whether you're a writer or not by looking to the future and imagining end results, you have missed the point. You're a writer if you write. Tell yourself that every morning as you sit down to write your 5 pages. I am a writer because I write. Soon enough, you'll begin to believe it and get off your own back. Which brings me to another number, 3. In 1998, I serendipitously came across a book by Julia Cameron titled The Artist's Way. Some of you may have heard of this. At that point in my life, I felt blocked from all creativity. From the dining room to the den, I simply was blocked. So I worked through the book, taking her suggestions, one of which was to journal every morning, 3 pages. Not to worry about what I was writing, whether it was good or bad, whether it made sense, was grammatically correct, just to write. That practice saved my life. That book actually saved my life. But the practice of writing 3 pages every morning before I do anything else at all has changed me. In those pages, my thoughts are like a Zamboni clearing the lumpy ice. Those pages free me to enter into my 5 pages of writing without crap floating around in my head. They lift me up, open me to the universe, so that the rest of my day is more responsive to the inspiration that I'm being given. I can't imagine not doing my morning pages every morning, any more than I can imagine not doing my 5 pages when I'm working on a book. So that's about it. I think you're ready to start. All you have to do is make a commitment to 1. Accept that you're a writer if you identify yourself as such. Be honest with yourself. Are you really writing consistently? 2. Let go of the unreasonable expectations you bring of yourself to the table or desk. 3. Write your 3 morning pages in your journal every morning, and it wouldn't hurt to purchase a copy of Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. 4. Write your 5 pages every day on your book. No more, no less. Stop at 5 as Hemingway did mid-line. You'll have something to pick up on in the morning. 5. Thank the universe for the creativity it has blessed you with. Until next time. Wait! I hear a little voice the size of piglets come from the back of the room. What if I can't pick up a pen or sit down at a computer and start? Aren't you supposed to be telling us what to do if we're blocked? What is blocking you? I ask. To which the little voice replies with an attitude. I don't know. You're the expert. So I put on my expert self and start to ask the questions which will lead to an inevitable answer. Do you have a place to write that is all your own, a special place? The piglet nods. And have you set aside time during which to write? A half an hour, an hour? The piglet nods again. Have you washed from your mind all notions that you should be a great, financially successful, and award-winning author? The piglet nods a 3rd time. Well then, I tell her, you are all set. There should be nothing stopping you from getting down to business. And I prepare to leave. But I can't, says a small voice. And I sit down again. You mean you won't? I am tempted to say, but I hear the anguish in her voice. I think for a moment of all the words I could use that might release her from this prison. Let go. Play. fairies, magic, faith. And then it comes to me, the old image of playing stuck in the mud as a child. Once caught, we couldn't be set free until someone tagged us and let us go. You need to find someone, I tell her, who will set you free, give you permission to write. Someone who can erase the old voices who said that you could never make a living at art or that writing was for old maids. You need to trust in that someone when they tell you it's all right to have fun, to mess with words, to make up silly stories. You are not wasting time. You're actually participating in the process of creation. You are like a zinnia lifting her head to the sun, opening her petals to butterflies and bees. Every word you write is a song in God's ears. When you write, you fling open your arms and throw yourself into the embrace of the creation. Or not. You can stay closed forever. It's your choice. That's it. Starting is a choice. Not starting is a choice too. No one can do it for you. All they can do is cheer you on, point you in the right direction, and hope that you begin. You know that Nike slogan, just do it? That's about the best that anyone can say to you because ultimately it is just you, just doing, just it. But you said to find someone, the little voice pipes up. That's not me choosing. I did. And it is. Once you have heard the message from someone else. Like you, she interrupts excitedly. Perhaps. Then you must take all these words into yourself and act on what you have heard. That is where only you can make the choice. Only you can stop making excuses. Only you can decide to move forward with a few pages every day. That is if you want to be a writer. If you want to be a tennis player, go buy a racket and ignore everything I said. You're weird, the piglet said, shaking her head. But I'll try. Don't try, I tell her. Just do it.